Hi folks, I'm Heath with Two Guys in a Ride, and today we are out here in New Ulm, Minnesota, and we're here at the AACA Grand Nationals, the Zenith Awards show, and we're here with Craig. Craig, you've got an awesome car behind us. Why don't you tell us what it is?
Certainly, and it's really a pleasure to be with you today. This is a 1941 120 Packard Convertible.
I love this color. I'm not sure that I've seen this blue before on a Packard.
Yes.
This is all authentically restored?
Yes.
Okay, and did you restore it or did you buy it restored?
No, we acquired it. The restoration was actually, the full restoration was completed in about 84.
Okay.
And then it went to a large collection. The color is actually known as Orleans Blue. And this car looks just like it did in the 1941 brochure.
Okay.
And it's a centerfold for the brochure. In the brochure, it has a red interior and a blue exterior. This is what they call the gray-blue combination.
Okay.
And you'll notice it has, maybe as you film, you'll see the blue plastic. But this car was originally restored in California because it was delivered March 14th of 1941 to Beverly Hills of Packard in California.
So, Hollywood must have gone to some movie star.
Well, the story behind the car, as we have gotten it, actually the car was purchased after restoration by Art Astor.
Okay.
He was a radio magnate in Southern California, owned like 15 radio stations. And during that time, he displayed the car in his collection, which was 275 cars.
Okay.
He displayed that with Cary Grant's picture in the front. And at the time it was sold by Sotheby's, it was written up as a car that was highly optioned, and we have confirmed through the Packard Club that it was, if you will, the only 120 convertible that was sold in Packard, Beverly Hills at that time. And the story goes that Barbara Hutton would have bought a car just like this for Cary Grant for his birthday in 41. Where they got married in 42. Now, unfortunately, we can't find the exact documentation because California eliminates all registration if not renewed after 5 years.
You've got some pretty good evidence going.
Well,
you know, if it's the only one that was sold in Beverly Hills,
it seems like we could connect the dots.
It seems like we could. We'll just go with that story.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now, some of the details. These cars are so beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just the designs. Now, I'm just looking at the rims.
Yes.
I mean, just the red painted stripes.
Yes.
I mean, the chrome
beauty rings.
Beauty rings, and then the dog dish in the middle. I mean, just Packard went to so many lengths, and we're going to see that as we kind of go through the car. But some of the details that went into this car.
Yes.
Are just amazing.
Well, considering it's a 1941 and you compare to some of the other much newer cars here at the show, this car has push-button start. It has overdrive. It has a heater. It has a radio, which happened to be, back in 41, one of the most highly expensive options that you could put in the car. You want to take a guess as to what the radio cost in 1941 as an option?
$10.
No, $67.
$67.
How much do you think this car cost new without the options in 1941?
$10,000?
$1,408.
And then the radio was $67?
The heater was $40.
Man.
So highly optioned car. Now has automatic top.
Wow, that's unusual.
3-speed, of course, on the column, leather interior, etc. But yeah, it's pretty. It's a very, shall we say, advanced car. And this is a junior car, as compared to what they consider the classic or senior cars, because Packard in 38, 39 decided that they wanted to get something that was a little lower priced than the senior V12 type cars, etc., the limos, for people that had, shall we say, maybe less income. So they could afford this car. Okay. So they came out with this design, and this is the 120, which is a 282 cubic inch straight 8. Okay. The 110 was a 6-cylinder, 110 horsepower. So, you know, more people could afford this car than other cars similar that were costing $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 at the same time.
But nonetheless, Packard didn't sacrifice on quality, because these cars are are solidly built.
They are solidly built.
I'm going to guess this drives really nice.
It drives very well. The 3-speed is very clean. The engine, which I've experienced myself and is something of a notoriety for Packard, the straight 8 in this car is 282 cubic inch, 120 horsepower. You can balance a nickel on the head while it's running, and it'll just sit there. The only thing that knocks it down is the backwash from the fan.
That's well balanced.
It's a balanced. It just said a lot of times I have to listen carefully to make sure it's running.
Can we open up the hood there and we'll take a look at this?
Absolutely, we can do that.
So
you'll see all the lights. You see, the dual horns, downdraft carburetor, but the big 282 straight 8 in there, and it is a massive engine.
It is huge. And these were original Packard colors.
Yes,
for the motor.
This is the Packard Green. Only a certain few companies actually produce this type of paint that goes on this engine.
And I love these hoods that open up from either side.
Butterfly hoods are great.
Yeah, I just love it.
And the way they lock down, you just don't realize they're there until you
until you go to pull on them.
Yeah, because they had to open the hood on this.
Now, one of the things I like out front.
Yes.
Besides the grill, which I think is that 3-piece set is just fantastic.
Yes.
Is
the cormorant.
Oh.
Yes, the cormorant is a trademark, and over the years, as they moved into the later Packards, and I'm not an aficionado on Packards. I've just learned in the past couple years, because I got this car for my wife's 65th birthday present. She wanted a vintage car, and this is what we ended up with. But the cormorant is a real unique trademark. As the cars went up and they got to be newer, like the late 40s and 50s, the cormorant changed. It became a lot less detailed, a lot less refined, but they kept it on there until they got up to I think 51, and then pretty well it disappeared. They didn't put as much on it for a hood ornament.
I like the red eye.
Yes, the little extra detail.
Just like the center hubcaps.
Yep, the eyes and the beak all done up in the little extra red there.
Let's take a walk to take a look at the interior here.
Sure.
I after looking at several Packards, the one of the things I like is their floor mats.
Oh yeah, well, of course.
Ask the man who owns one.
Of course, you can't have that in there for the competition, but yes, we love that. It is a standard. My wife actually has an original Packard button that says "Ask the man who owns one." She's wearing it on her hat. But
all right, take us across just from right to left and kind of tell us a little bit about what's there, and then maybe talk a little bit more about the radio, because you had that restored.
Yeah. As you can see, it's in excellent shape. If you look up at the interior, you'll see even the supporting rods are all chromed in the back. It has a zip-out rear window, all leather, and all of this plastic, as a rule, was developed out of soybean oil.
Okay.
And this is what they call the waterfall. This is an original waterfall. It's a little rough at this point in time, but we've been able to maintain this and put it back on the radio. It has an original Philco radio, AM radio in it.
Tubes.
All tubes, and this has been fully restored just like it came from the factory. Turn it on, wait for the tubes, then you'll get nice reception. It plays quite well. Of course, it has electric windshield wipers, and then you have the dash, and so many people, especially the young shall we say, enthusiasts, look at the speedometer and they go, "Mom and Dad, look, it only goes 1, 2, or 3 miles an hour." But it has all of your necessary gauges and of course, this has a generator, not an alternator.
Okay.
So you got oil, you got temperature, and you've got the generator, and of course the fuel gauge, and then all of the dash knobs across there. You got the ones at the bottom that take care of the heater.
Okay.
And then you've also got one there for the fog lights, the Packard fog lights up front. These are all options. And then you don't really see much. The knob just to the right of the steering wheel is the engage knob for the overdrive. So right now it's engaged. So with this car, I get up to about 30 miles an hour, and a little green light comes on the dash, tells me that overdrive's ready to engage. I let off the gas pedal. It jumps into overdrive, put the gas back down, and we move right on down the road. So it drops the RPM. So it basically gives you a 4th gear.
Oh, wow. Man. Now, the light on the outside.
The spotlight. Mm-hmm.
That was an extra, too?
Yep, that was an extra, and that is the Appleton remote spotlight. You can see how it's all engineered in there.
And go ahead.
No. Well, it's just one of those things that seems like so many cars, especially the sporty type cars, wanted to have a spotlight. Right. I remember my dad had one on his car too.
The top here.
Yes.
Cloth, right? Yep.
Yes.
Cloth with a little vinyl exterior.
This is all canvas with a red piping trim all the way around.
Okay. And then there was a seat in the back.
Oh, yes, yes, there is a seat back here for 2 more people or 3, depending on their size.
And
And then, of course, there's the bonnet that goes over the top.
and then you had a zip-out rear window.
Right, the window zips out and drops right down.
So you could have the top up and still have the airflow all the way through.
You get that 460 air conditioning, you know.
There you
all
go.
windows down, 60 miles an hour, rear window down.
I like the size of the seats.
Yes, and of course it's adjustable seat so you can move in and out.
And then of course these had, they had gone away from the big running boards.
Yes, this is the running board delete. They took those pretty much out, as well as you can find some of the 120s, especially 38, 39, that'll have the side mounts, similar to my friend's Buick over here.
Okay.
But that adds additional weight. And of course they had the stone deflectors all in chrome, the chrome trim, and of course the bumpers. The uprights are extra, as they are on the front.
We talked earlier, Craig, but the tail lenses are all glass.
They're all glass. These are all glass, and not easy to find, especially if you get one damaged. And this is an original Packard backup light. You can see Packard. That's an original new old stock.
It's just amazing, just the detail. I mean, you've got the Packard written here. You've got a little bit of design right here in the fin. Then right here in the handle, you got a little light here for your plate. I mean, just so many little pieces.
Yes.
Of course, this was your filler cap for your gas.
Right. That's for the gas.
Okay.
And that part's all pretty much straightforward for Packard, but very solid car. I think we discussed this car weighs 3,650 pounds.
Man, what a beautiful car.
Thank you.
So, why did you get into cars in the first place?
Hey, my wife decided she at some point was going to turn 65. And so I asked her what she would like special, and she said she'd like to get a vintage car. Her uncle had a Duesenberg, her grandfather had a Duesenberg, uncle had Packard and Pierce Arrow. So lo and behold, we ended up with this. And then that led us, we got this just 2 years ago. And now she got the hankering for a V12. So now we have a 1934 Packard V12 Club sedan.
Oh.
And that one was delivered November 19th of 1934 to Dallas, Texas.
I'd say that's a good reason to get into classic cars.
Hey, you know what they say, happy wife, happy life? You got to go with the flow, guys.
There you go. Craig, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, the story of the car, the beautiful details of the car. We sure appreciate it.
Well, we're just so pleased that you all came to this event. It's a wonderful event. The weather in Minnesota is great. Notice there's no white on the ground. So we look forward to seeing you again at another show.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks so much, Rob and Nathan. We really appreciate you coming by to visit with us.
Thanks for watching.